Everyone, so in the last video we went over setting up some basic indicators like our moving averages, EMAs, a simple RSI indicator at the bottom with a volume profile. So in this video we're going to be going over having multiple time frames up at once so you can view a chart multiple ways. So if you click in the top right over here, you can notice a square and you can decide how many of a grid you want or a size. So right now we just have a 1x1. And we can go to, say, a 1x2. And if you notice, there's enter a symbol. There's a link right here. And if you see how Adobe right here is linked to red, the number 1, if you link that as well, when you type into a stock, so if I say Tesla, it'll change both of them at the same time. So if I had, say, a 4 grid, I could set all of these to red. And then anytime I change the stock, they would all be connected at once. Or I could, for example, set these two on the left to red and set these on the right to yellow. And then I could have something like that where I have two different stocks I could pull up at once. Or I could do, bottom to yellow, top to red, things like that. However you want to set it up. So if you notice, the background and stuff does not match this over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to change this back to 1. And we are going to hit Style and hit Settings. We are going to go to Appearance. And here's where you can change the background and all that stuff. So for example, on my green candles, I like hollow. If you don't like hollow, you can fill them, the fill up section right here. Or if you want red hollow, you can do that as well. I like green hollow, so that's just what I'm going to keep it as. You can also change the color of them. So I can make them, say, purple. Or make them black, whatever you want to do with the candles. It's really up to you. You could have like a fill, or you can do a different colored fill. So you could have the outline purple with a, like, say, a yellow fill. You have a blue border with a yellow fill, however you want to do it. But again, I just do simple, I just do hollow green filled red. And so down here, if you see, you can also change the background of the grid. So if you wanted, say, a blue, you could set it to that. I just personally use black, so that's just what I'm going to keep it as. And also if you want the grid, which is these dots and crosses in the background, if you don't want that, you can also have a color. If you do, you can uncheck this box and get rid of that. So I just like a black background. You can, again, change to whatever color scheme you want. If you want rainbow colors, green crayons, whatever else you want to do. So once you set up that colors how you want, you can hit apply. And what you can do is we're going to hit set chart default. And it'll say, do you really want to set this as a default? And you're going to click yes. So after you do that, every time you open up a new grid, if you open up the chart, it will have that same design to it, and as well as the indicators. So you can see now every time I load up a new symbol, everything that I already had will be there. And the reason that's important is it'll save you the time of, say, if you want a massive one like a 6x2, changing the settings on every single one every time. You would already have it set up. So back to our 4-piece right here. We're going to clean it up a little. So the first thing we can do is we can save this as a grid. So we can save this 4x4 area as a grid. So we are going to hit save grid and we're going to give it a layout. We'll just call it YT Dark Test. And here we can then change anything we want out of it. So let's say we want to have the 5-minute in the top left and we want the daily in the top right. And we'll say the hour down here in like the 15. So, little multiple time frame analysis in one. So if you want to get rid of all these indicators, these extra ones, and you just want, say, the candles on one of them, you could still go to your studies, edit your study, and remove the things you want. So if we don't want volume, you get rid of the volume. If we don't want RSI, get rid of RSI. But we still want our indicators for our moving average stuff, we can hit apply and hit OK. And same thing over here. If we want no volume, any of that stuff. We'll just remove them right quick. Hit apply, okay. And we'll say in the daily we don't want RSI, but we want the volume, so we can just get rid of just the RSI and hit apply. So if you notice, these still have the volume shelf down below, which is a default that you want to get rid of if you don't want that there. So what you can do is hit the chart settings gear and go to equities because it's a stock. And so you're going to click this box right here called the volume subgraph, and you're going to uncheck that. And here you can also set extended hours. Now, for using the TLVX and things like that, you actually don't want extended hours because it can skew your moving averages because it'll use data in the pre and post market instead of just active trading hours. So we'll keep it off for now. But if you did want it on, you could hit apply. And you can see this grayed area is the after hours trading. So if you want to see how a stock is doing after, say, earnings, or just to see how it's doing overnight, you can toggle that on or toggle it off. But we're going to turn it back off for now. So again, we'll just go back to equities, extended hours, and then again, the volume subgraph we will check off. And now there is no volume subbox below, and we just have our indicators with the 15-minute chart. So again, we're going to do the same thing over here in the hourly. We're going to go to equities, click off show volume subgraph, apply OK. And now we have our RSI and volume on the original 5-minute chart, which we can still have, but on our 15 and hourly we don't. And then on the daily we just have the volume. So once you have the way you want to organize with the certain indicators on what chart, you can go to save grid as again, and we will save it. And it'll actually save the indicators you took off. So if I load it, let's say it will load back our default Adobe that we did in the first video. If we load this and you go back to the one we just saved, after you remove the indicators and things that you wanted, it'll show up exactly that. So you notice how the volume subgraphs aren't there. The RSI and the volume is still just on the 5-minute one on the top left, and we just have our volume on the daily. So we have everything set up that we need in order to view something on multiple time frames. And again, if you want, you can always just link it. So if we wanted to link all these to yellow, and then we can have, say, 2 and 2, or however you want to set up. You could set it up, you know, on this 5-minute chart for PLTR and Tesla, and then just have like their dailies on the right side. Or again, you can have, like, I have a really big grid where I load up like 10 different stocks at once, and then I have all of their stuff saved, so they all show up in a, they already show up exactly how I want them, and then I can just load it back from there. And again, if I go back to the tester one, boom, it's right exactly how I left it. So you can come back, you can set up how you want, save the grid exactly how you want it with the only the indicators that you want, and then you can come back and you'll have exactly how you left it.